Imagine a warm summer day in 1914, where the world was buzzing with excitement and hidden tensions. Young men everywhere dreamed of adventure, inspired by their grandfathers' tales of heroic battles like the Napoleonic Wars, the bloody fields of Crimea, the deserts of Sudan, and the brother-against-brother fights of the American Civil War. They imagined charging into glory, defending their nations, and becoming legends themselves. But oh, how wrong they were. This wasn't going to be a quick dash of heroism. It was the dawn of a nightmare, where new machines turned war into a grinding machine of death. And millions would learn the hard way that old stories couldn't prepare them for the horrors ahead. If you're hooked on this journey through history's darkest twists, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell icon so you never miss our next thrilling episode. Little did they know, everything would shatter on June 28, 1914, in the streets of Sarajevo. Archduke Franz Ferdinand, the heir to the mighty Austro-Hungarian Empire, was visiting when a young Serbian nationalist named Gavrilo Princip pulled the trigger. Those bullets didn't just end lives, they ripped apart the fragile peace, sparking a chain reaction of alliances and ultimatums that dragged the world into chaos. Austria-Hungary, with Germany's full backing, demanded impossible terms from Serbia. When Serbia hesitated, Austria bombed Belgrade on July 28, igniting the powder keg. Russia rallied to Serbia's side, mobilizing its armies, which prompted Germany to declare war on Russia on August 1st and France on August 3rd. To strike France fast, Germany pushed through neutral Belgium, pulling Britain into the fray on August 4th. Everyone thought it'd be over by Christmas, a swift victory parade. But the monsters of modern war were about to awaken, turning dreams into dust. Germany had a clever blueprint called the Schlieffen Plan, named after its creator who retired in 1906. The idea: Russia's massive army would take 6 weeks to gear up, so Germany would fake a strong defense against France's push into Alsace-Lorraine, while secretly swinging most forces to encircle and crush the French in just 40 days. Then turn east for the real fight. At first, it worked like a charm. Germans smashed Russians at Tannenberg and raced toward Paris. But by early September, near the Marne River, things unraveled. The German right flank stretched too far, and French General Joseph Joffre spotted the gap, launching a fierce counterattack. No one truly won, but the Germans retreated to the Aisne line and dug in. The French and British followed warily, and just like that, the Western Front became a scarred landscape of trenches, dooming the quick-win hopes to a bloody stalemate. In those early clashes, like the First Battle of Ypres, soldiers charged into a storm of new terrors. Machine guns ruled the day. Germany's MG-08, Russia's Pulemyot Maxim, France's Hotchkiss, Britain's Vickers and Lewis Saul evolved from Hiram Maxim's 1883 invention. Germans especially loved them, building concrete bunkers where a few men could mow down hundreds, halting entire battalions if they had a clear shot. As these guns got smaller and harder to destroy, armies froze in place. Why not armor the troops? Too heavy, too slow. Soldiers were sitting ducks, and machine guns weren't alone. Artillery had grown monstrous thanks to factories churning out industrial giants. Accurate fire could wipe out hundreds in a blink, but bigger guns meant they couldn't move easily, leaving infantry without mobile support. Everyone hunkered down behind their big guns, turning attacks into suicide missions, targeting weak spots in a brutal game of cat and mouse. As if that wasn't enough, poison gas slithered into the nightmare. Early tries by France and Germany fizzled, like Germany's Eastern Front bombs that froze in the cold. But chemist Fritz Haber changed everything with chlorine deadly, fast, and plentiful from dye factories. In April 1915, during the Second Battle of Ypres, Germans unleashed 160 tons via wind toward Allied lines. 5,000 soldiers gasped in horror, coughing blood, writhing as one witness described them, running mad, coats open, screaming for water. Gases multiplied some burned skin. Others scarred minds, killing tens of thousands more in the trenches. Trenches weren't just ditches. They were clever mazes with 3 lines. The front for fighting, the middle for rest under shell cover, and the back for command, medics, and kitchens. All guarded by machine guns and gas. Barbed wire turned no man's land into a deadly web. Soldiers dodged shells, grenades, and bullets only to crawl slowly through it, facing mines and nests. The only way through. Pound positions with hours of bombardment, but that screamed your plans. Bunkers popped up, and armor seemed the answer, but who could carry it? Vehicles tried, but craters chewed tires. Something tougher was needed: bulletproof, trench jumping, wire-crushing killers. Enter Ernest Swinton, a sharp observer from the Boer and Russo-Japanese wars. He saw the deadlock: packed armies, immovable artillery. Inspired by Holt's tracked tractors, he dreamed of armored beasts. Winston Churchill pushed the idea to the Prime Minister, describing tracks ripping through defenses. Engineers birthed Little Willie Small, but flawed than Big Willie. A 22-ton rhomboid with 105 horsepower engine. Up to 5.6 kilometers per hour, crew of 10. Males had cannons. Females machine guns, like nature's protectors. Tests wowed. Cross trenchers, smash guns, rail ready. It looked like a prehistoric beast. Secrecy was Keith. They called them tanks to fool spies into thinking water carriers. Fake Cyrillic labels suggested messages like 12 males arriving, 6 females follow baffled eavesdroppers. By 1916, production hummed. Committees formed, training started secretly. Tanks were tested against German guns, mud their best camouflage. The front grew grimmer after the Marne. Trenches sprawled in 1915. Leaders chased offensive illusions, ignoring defense's edge. 1916 brought apocalypse. Falkenhayn replaced Moltke, targeting Verdun to bleed France dry. 10 months, 40 million shells, 300,000 dead, no victor. To relieve it, the Somme erupted, a week of 1.5 million shells. But July 1st saw Brits walk into machine gun hell. 19,000 dead. The slaughter dragged on. Desperate, tanks debuted early at Flers-Courcelette. On September 15, 1916, 49 rumbled forward amid heat and noise. Germans froze at the 4-cornered devils, fleeing as bullets bounced off. One tank captured 300 alone. But only 9 succeeded. Others broke, stuck, or scattered. Poor planning, but it saved lives and sparked hope. Later, assaults like July 14th used better barrages and rushes, taking lines before stalling. Forgotten battles cost 80,000 for tiny gains. Thiepval and Beaumont Hamel showed tanks' psyche. Hegemons surrendered en masse. Haig ordered more, but impatience wasted surprise, as Churchill griped. Captured tanks fueled German copies. France's turn. Estienne envisioned gun-mounted all-terrain vehicles. His Schneider CA-1 used Holt chassis, stuck easily, poor gun. Patton hated it. Saint-Chamond was worse with its protruding cannon. Trapped in widened trenches. ESTIENN pushed Renault, FT light, turreted male, female armed, balanced for speed. 1917 saw mass attacks, air ties. German anti-tanks like piercing bullets. Verdun and Somme squeezed Germany. Brusilov hit east. Hindenburg shortened lines, devastating retreats. Nivelle promised quick wins but failed at Charmanday. Dame Schneider's debuted to disaster. Mutinies erupted. Pétain calmed with better conditions, waiting for tanks and America. British evolved marks for fixed floors, full armor, better guns, speed. Deployed Palestine, aiding Gaza falls. Whippets chased fast, inspiring French. Messines, underground explosives reshaped land. Mark IVs with air-crushed Germans. Passchendaele's mud drowned 300,000. Cambry's mass tank raid shocked 381, advanced 6 kilometers. But counters and chaos lost gains. Proved tanks. Germany rushed as 7 visas spended, sealed, fast, but scarce. 1918, tanks led. Kaiserschlacht aimed to end before America. Michael advanced far, but stalled at Villiers. Bretigny first tank duel, British one. Offensives peaked at Marne, then Foch's counters with hundreds of tanks, and Americans turned tide. Amiens Kurd strikes broke Germans' Ludendorff's Black Day. Hindenburg pierced, mutinies flared, Kaiser abdicated. November 11th armistice silenced guns, but unease lingered. Tanks turned on crowds in unrest. The war to end wars seeded more, tanks evolving onward. What a wild ride through history's forge of fire and steel. If this story fired you up, subscribe now and hit that bell icon to catch every future adventure. Front row seat to the past awaits.